fans. How are you today in the wonderful internet land?
Hey there folks, Uncle Troy here, hanging out at the tree farm as always. And at some point a chicken had fallen in here and had laid a bunch of eggs before he drowned, so I came in here in this chest here, which was only supposed to be collecting ink sacs and any odd little bits of dirt or anything that fell into this tree farm trap. The dirt should pop up right here in a second. Don't make a liar out of me. There it is. Okay. Anyway, so this whole chest was full of eggs, so I guess the chicken had been trapped in there for a while before it died. There was also one piece of uncooked chicken. So I took the eggs and threw them all in here and got 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I forget how many baby chicks. So assuming they survive to adulthood, I expect this thing to be full of eggs again. And while we're here, let's just set our tree farm turtle to tree farming. Why? I don't know. I just like watching him go out and tree farm. He's a little flashy today because of the Optifine. In fact, there was one version of Optifine that I tried that he was completely invisible when he moved. Alright. Any of y'all grown up yet? Actually, yeah, there's an adult there now. A couple of them. Good. So soon we'll start getting eggs. But actually, that's not the reason for today's video. The reason for today's video was that I had made an automatic self-regulating power station, which was coal-fired or charcoal-fired, and I done so by connecting this here bat box to this here pump, which would pump things through this wooden pipe here from this into a generator. And originally it was just one generator and one bat box. Now the bat box has some options up here under the redstone thing. Basically, you can choose do not output energy. Do not output energy unless full. Do nothing. Emit a redstone signal if full. Emit a redstone signal partially filled, and emit if empty. So what I had done was I had run a wire from a redstone wire from the bat box to the pump with the thing set to emit if empty. Emit if empty. And so every time the bat box ran empty, it would start the pump, which would run charcoal down into this generator, which would refill the bat box. An original idea came with myself, very brilliant, if I do say so myself, but the problem was that it only kicked on when the bat box was empty, because there is not a emit if half full. Emit if full would be producing a signal right now. Emit if partially filled would start emitting as soon as it dropped. And of course, emit if empty emits only when it's completely empty. So if you just drew a little power from the bat box, say enough to electric furnace one redwood log into charcoal, charcoal, thank you, the bat box would run this pump for a while, would put several pieces of charcoal into this generator. The problem would be that if you put more charcoal in the generator, it will fill up its own little power bar, and it will try to keep that power bar full. Let me break this bat box here for just a second. As you can see, the one piece of coal should fill this thing, I think, all the way. I'm not sure. We'll find out here in a second. Yes, one piece of charcoal was enough to fill that generator all the way. Now, if we drew just a little bit of power off that generator, say enough to smelt one redwood log into a piece of charcoal, and do I have another piece of copper wire handy? I'm trying to show you what this used to look like before we made the changes. Yes, copper cable. Now, as you can see, power level is down just a few hundred here. And because this generator's bar is full, this charcoal is not being used. But put that in place, it burns. It burned the piece of charcoal, and now we're topped off, but we're not drawing any more energy, right? Nothing down here. The bat box is full, yet the generator has used an entire piece of charcoal for that tiny little sliver of power. And that is why we decided to go with this second bat box. I'm going to pick up this redstone here for just a second. Put the bat box here so that the dot is facing toward this bat box. And as you can see right now, the generator is allowing all its power to go into the bat box, which we're going to set to emit if empty. So now, since there's 4,000 units in this bat box, if we were to take a single, that's not how you get a single, yeah, single redstone log into the electric furnace, oops, this bat box stays fully powered because this bat box is letting out some power to keep this one fully charged. So now we've created a new piece of charcoal. We've used only this much of the 4,000 power. So if this generator was topped off, or because this generator had nothing in it, we did not waste extra power. We did not waste an extra piece of charcoal. So if we go and try to smelt an entire stack of wood in our electric furnace, again, this bat box stays topped off until this one is completely empty. Time lapse, please. And now that it is completely empty, it is producing a redstone signal here, which is powering this redstone pump, which is sucking charcoal and feeding it along this line. However, since this bat box has extra power, the electric furnace is still running. And it takes just a few seconds and allows a few pieces of charcoal. There it goes. The generator is now producing power. You can see that the bat box is flickering because it's getting some power, which it is immediately sending over here to top this one off. Now once it tops this one off, then it'll start building up a charge here. The flickering will stop. The pump will stop. And we've got just a few extra pieces of charcoal here, which should give us a few thousand units of power. Now this is not going up as fast as it would otherwise because the electric furnace here is still drawing power. But it is keeping this bat box fully charged. And we'll give it a few seconds here to finish this. Actually, we'll go off and take a nap since the sun's going down, and come back here and check this in the morning. And the sun rises on another beautiful Minecraft day. Alright, so this one's down to its last piece of coal, which it is burning as we speak. We're up to about 11,000 and a bit. This one, of course, is still fully charged, and the furnace is still going on and on. Alright, generators just went out, and now we are no longer gaining power, we are losing power. And possibly by the time this goes down and has, let's go ahead and empty this out, and we'll throw this in here. So we've used like 3-4 pieces of charcoal, and we've gained 30 with the power we had from it. See how our tree farm is doing. Yep, he's just chopping away. Meanwhile, our Flocko chickens are splashing around and have laid us 8 eggs already. Oops, 9 eggs. 10 eggs. 11 eggs. Alright, I did not intend for this tree farm, and see some of my earlier videos for how to set it up to be a chicken farm, but that seems to work pretty good. Okay, once again we're out of power. Once again the redstone signal is set, and I think we've actually ran, yep, we've used up all our Oh, wait, no. Second thought, we don't want to do that. Alright, so as you can see, we've used a little power. No power here. Hope I'm not clicking too fast for anybody. But as you can see, as it starts producing power, the redstone flickered for a bit and then went out. This one is topped off. This one is accumulating power faster because we're not drawing anymore. And this has about 3 more pieces of charcoal to go. And that'll bring it up to about 12,000, maybe 16,000, depending on how much this bat box required, because I think each piece of charcoal gets you about 4,000 energy units in a generator. So as long as this pump pumps less than 10 pieces of charcoal, it will never top off this first bat box, which means, you know, we will never waste energy, which is the whole point of this. Well, plus to be cool and prove how clever I am. But the whole point of this is to generate power from charcoal without wasting it. Because as impressive as my massive charcoal experience farm here is, and my automatic tree farm, which is now an automatic egg farm. See how many eggs we've got so far. Oops, 17. The main purpose of this is to save energy. Yeah, well, 19,000. I guess it pumped a few more pieces of coal than I thought it was, but that's about half the capacity, which means we could probably go in here and burn quite a bit of wood into this electric furnace into charcoal without this ever going down. And of course, that may be enough right there to not worry about having to refuel. But that's how the automated self-regulating power generator works, and with the addition of the second bat box here, works even better because you never run completely out of energy and your stuff keeps going. Alright, now let's, as soon as our tree farming turtle here finishes, you can see he's kind of disappearing when he runs around. Not as bad as the newer version of Optifine, because I was getting it like it was just a ghost, much like that there. If we unzoom, it comes out. Oops, I think we have, yeah, we've got chickens laying eggs all over the place. We have to thin those out. Alright, let's go over to the multiplayer world and see a larger version of this in action. Okay folks, here we are in my multiplayer world where I have a jetpack. Woohoo. And as you can see, we have a much larger version of the tree farm than in the single player world. Actually, I need to fix it where it will automatically redo the saplings, because I've not been automatically recirculating the saplings and we're running low. But we have a altered version of the tree farm which will go out. This is the original tree farm I did was a 4x4. This one is like a 8x6, only because I ran into a mountain over there and I didn't want to do any more digging than I had to. But eventually this will be an 8x8, which will be 4 times the original size of the tree farm. But I've written a slightly modified tree farming program where I can just tell it to do 1 row, for example. And again, because of Optifine, the turtles kind of disappear and reappear more than they would otherwise. But Optifine does give me better frame rates. Oh, come on, down the hole, down the hole. There we go. Is that a giant slime down there? I believe it is. We'll check him out later. But as I've said before, the water currents push everything together, comes into these pipes here, down into this sorting system here, which sends logs one way, saplings another, and everything else gets put over here. So if there was a chicken stuck up there, the eggs would be coming over here. But the logs go into these 3 barrels here. The saplings go into this Greg Tech auto crafting table, which compresses them into plant balls. And the plant balls go over here into this still, but that's not important. The important thing is that I can take the wood, put it into this conglomeration of furnaces here, and create all the charcoal I could possibly need. So here is our fancy power setup here. This up here is the biomass. The fermenter creates biomass, which this still converts into biofuel, which once I do the piping and set everything up right, will get taken over into this biogenerator, which will supply power to this bat box. But that's for future, because right now we're still running off of charcoal. Oops. So similar to how that was set up over there, the bat box here is set to emit if empty. So when this bat box empties, it will emit a redstone signal, which will go into this redstone engine, which will pump out of this charcoal barrel into one of 8 engines. And I've got this kind of just all clumped together here, so it's kind of random how it works. Let's see. I need to recharge my electric backpack. We can do that in this MFSU, which holds 10 million units of power. So as you can see, it didn't take long at all to charge that, and it didn't take long at all to charge it back from the bat box. So we need something that will take a bit more power. So let's grab a stack of cobble over here. And let's run over here to our macerator, and we have an electric furnace as well. And we've got some extractors and some other stuff here, but if we put this whole thing of charcoal into this macerator, that will start drawing power. Where are my overclockers? There they are. Now, I have this MFSE, which you can see is having power drawn from it, which is then being replaced by what's in the bat box. Goes into this really high capacity power. That produces high voltage, 512 units a tick, which would blow up my low voltage machines. So we have a medium voltage transformer right here, which then a low voltage transformer, and even an extra bat box down here in the end. So our macerator macerates the cobblestone into sand. It is sucked by a redstone engine into our electric furnace, which converts it into glass, and then gets put in my chest here. And of course that draws power. In fact, our bat box just ran out of power, so it is sending the signal. The gates, well, that gate helps send it into that redstone engine, or excuse me, these repeaters here. This first repeater, sometimes the repeaters kind of smooth out the signal a little. So because this conglomeration of pipes here is kind of random, the charcoal goes in a random path till it ends up in one of the furnaces. And that is so all the charcoal doesn't go into the first furnace, for example. And once the furnaces get stocked, 2 or 3 of them going at once, then the bat box will start getting powered more than is getting taken away from by the MFSU, and we'll see that flicker again, meaning it's getting close, and then the pump will stop running. And we actually want multiple. We'd rather have multiple generators running just one piece of charcoal or 2 pieces of charcoal than one of them getting several pieces of charcoal, because we want a spike of power. So MFSU's being kept topped off, and the bat box is building up a little extra. Let's see, our macerator is still going full blast. Electric furnace can't quite keep up because the macerator has overclockers. Each overclocker upgrade allows you, it goes like 10% faster with 20% more energy usage or something like that. It's worth having a few of them. Alright, once again we have run low. Once again the bat box produced a signal. Once again the pump pumped out charcoal, which went into these generators. And I probably could put the generators closer in a smaller little clump, but I was still experimenting. And actually some of these are a little too far because you can only go about 4 spaces with the copper wire before it starts losing power. And on a good day, we'll also crank up the still and the fermenter here, which are being powered from this MFSU. And they create biofuel, which I can pipe over into this tank, over into this engine here, this biogenerator, and that's another source of power. But for right now, we're going to leave that off, because between the 4 engines here and these 2 devices, they suck up enough power that sometimes things down here don't work anymore. Alright, well, that's the improved self-regulating power station, which runs off charcoal, as I've said before, because thanks to my experience grinder here, I have plenty of charcoal. Oops, did not mean to do that. A full barrel there, mostly full barrel there, mostly full barrel there. Oops, keep forgetting I don't have to do that. And all this to keep this bat box filled up, so this MFSU will be filled up, so that I can run these devices down here without worrying about running out of power. The extra bat box down here just kind of keeps it keeps the energy flowing regular. That's not really necessary. Alright, that's finished. We'll move our overclockers down here to the electric furnace. See how much faster that goes? Whee! And pretty soon I'll have a full stack of glass here, which I'll add to my other full stacks of glass elsewhere. Alright, you are being topped off by this. Looks like that finished down there. MFSU is at full power. The bat box is going to get a little more power from these furnaces until they run out, or generators rather. They're made from an electric furnace. Alright, so that is the improved self-regulating power station. And if you have any questions, comments, anything, leave them in the comment section below. I worked on this for hours and hours trying to get like parallel bat boxes or MFSUs set up to kind of switch between them or something like that. And then it occurred to me, wait, just have one feed the other. And you know, this one's kept full, this one's kept about empty. That averages out to about half, which is what I was trying to do by putting 2 side by side and using power from one, then power from the other. And then after I spent hours and hours and hours experimenting that, I checked the comments in one of my videos, and somebody else had already come up with the same idea and told me how to do it. So that's what I get for thinking on my own when I could just count on y'all. So if y'all have any suggestions for improvements for this, please leave them in the comment section below. In the meantime, this is Uncle Troy signing out. Please have a good night.